Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of Soul School. I am very, very excited. Normally, you guys know that I normally have drummers on. I've had James Gatson, Charles Collins, different people like that. But now it's about that time to take it to the bottom. The cat that actually makes the band run for Cameo. And like I said, I have a thing for bass players and drummers, you know, Marcus Miller, Nathan East, different people like that. Well, I have a cat on the show tonight that I'm actually speechless about because this dude is downright stanky, nasty, funky, dirty, low down, and has a lot to say. Please welcome to the show the one and only, the legendary Aaron Mills, Cameo.
All right, what's up, baby?
Man, I'm sitting up here, man. I'm still trying to, it's stanking in here, man, because you almost made me OD tonight at the show, man. First of all, it's an honor to have you on the show.
Well, it's my pleasure to be on your show. Soul School. I love it.
This is what it's all about, and really at the end of the day, I try to give it to the people. I would consider myself, and not being braggadocio or nothing, a music minister, but being a music minister, you have what's called the Congress, the people that tell the president and things like that to do. And for me, this is the equivalent of that. And I'm just, like I said, before we get started, I have to tell you what an honor it is just to sit next to you, man. I grew up looking at the Cardiac Arrest album covers and listening to Insane and all. You know, I was a Cameo fan way, way back when Find My Way was a 45 before you guys got to Chocolate City.
Right.
You know, man, so how did all this get started for Aaron Mills? Take us back to the beginning.
Oh, I'll take you back, and I'll try to make it brief. Let's see. Well, first of all, I've been in Cameo, I think now this is the 32nd year of me working with Larry and Tommy and the guys. And I joined Cameo in 1978 going into 79. And before that, I was working with a jazz trumpet player named Donald Byrd.
You worked with Donald Byrd?
Donald Byrd and the Blackbirds. Donald produced a group that I had out of North Carolina. We were in Durham, North Carolina, at the University of North Carolina Central University. And Byrd was teaching, had a jazz program there. And I was in that program, and he produced the album on us. And at the school, that was called, the name of the group was New Central Connection, you know. And so that enabled us to go out and tour. When that album came out, it was on the United Artists label, and that was in 1977. And that enabled us to meet Larry Blackman, the brothers Johnson, Herbie Hancock, you name it.
Was this a jazz fusion kind of thing?
Yeah, no, it was funk. It was funk, but it had a jazz overtone because Byrd, a jazz player.
Right.
Then I was a jazz bass player. I played upright bass and electric bass, but I met Larry Blackman them on the road, and we exchanged numbers. And one evening I was coming in from playing in church, and my phone was ringing. It was Larry Blackman, and he says, "Aaron, I need a bass player." And I thought about it for like 2 or 3 hours. I called him back, and I said, "When you want me to come to New York?" He said, "Well, there's a ticket waiting for you right now." That was on a Sunday night. I left that Monday, and I went to New York. That Wednesday, we were playing. We went to Ohio to play, and that's how it started out with Cameo. Now they had 3 albums out. No, they had 2 albums out when I joined them.
Well, first of all, before I get to that, if he was playing with Donald Byrd, I already knew that Aaron Mills was a master and a monster player, but if he was playing with Donald Byrd, that means you were real bad at a real young age. That's some history that I didn't know.
Well,
you bad. If you playing with Donald Byrd, you real bad. Now, was this the which We All Know Who We Are album? Was the Secret Omen?
Secret Omen was the first album. That was the first album that I recorded with Cameo, but I had been in Cameo like about 7 months before we recorded that album.
Remember that time period very well. That was summer of '79 when I Just Want to Be hit.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking on that, a tremendous job. I was watching you tonight as the band leader, and one thing about me, when I get to the live show, this is when you have to reproduce what it is that you did in the studio. And Aaron, for my money, he didn't tell me this, but I can tell just by watching that it's clear that he was the band leader. And I got a chance to watch soundcheck and the way that you was conducting the band. Really right now, Kool and the Gang, Confunction, and Cameo are the three baddest road bands out there on the road. And it's a lot of it is attributed to you, I have to say.
Well, thank you very much for that compliment. Being a band leader it's not designated to me, but you know,
you're leading the band, man.
I've always had that attitude to, you know, I can lead you. You know, I can lead a band. I know what it's about. I know what it entails. I have enough musical knowledge and background to hold that position. And I can write music, I can read music, I can play jazz, I can play classical, but nevertheless, that's a part of my makeup, that's a part of me, and I do it when it needs to be done.
Real quick before we get to some entertainment, I saw some real rocked out stuff tonight. It's clear that you can rock out, but also your style is all your own. It's completely different from everybody else's. Like I said, I've seen a lot of bass players. You're completely different. But I saw a lot of James Jamerson groove also tonight. And was he a cat that you actually watched at all?
Actually, not watch. I used to listen at him. Yeah, I used to listen to James. I mean,
it doesn't sound like James Jamerson because your style is different. It's very distinct. But the groove, to me, I've always felt that Jamerson, when it comes to the groove, there's nobody like him. But some of the stuff that you do, like on Flirt and kind of the way that you're around the neck, it just, for somebody who's younger, who has a musical ear that's different from just listening to a record, I heard a little bit of Jamerson without it being copied or whatever. It's just your own thing, man.
Well, you know, a player like James Jamerson, the way he played, I mean, to me now, he would play a line, but he never played the same thing verbatim. If you really listen to James Jamerson, he was more of an expressive, he expressed himself on that instrument, the bass. And I mean, you know, you could hear he had jazz background. I mean, all Stevie records and all that Motown stuff. I mean, he was great. And so I listened at him. I also would listen to Chuck Rainey, Paul Chambers, I mean, a lot of players. Jocko, I like playing like him, but you know, there came a time I had to say, like, okay, enough for them. I got to find myself, and so that's all I try to do now. I don't try to impress nobody. Victor Wooten and Marcus Miller, they are great, and Stanley Clarke. I used to listen to Stanley Clarke all the time, and but you know, it's all about. I just try to play me, and I'm proud that God gave me the gift to play, and that's what makes me happy.
Let's get to some Cameo entertainment. Here's something from the Cameo's video. This is called... You know what, man? When I think about Cameo, I think about an unprecedented list of hits that... Postmortem, Rigor Mortis, Funk, Sparkle, I Just Want to Be. Even the stuff you didn't trip off of that weren't singles, Cameo's Why Have I Lost You, Shake Your Pants, big hit, the Feel Me album, Your Love Just Takes Me Out. I mean, Cameo had so many subliminal hits, and we didn't even get to the other part, what I'm thinking. When I think about Cameo's style, Nights at the Sound Table, Freaky Dancing. Right. I like it. You guys got, I don't know if you really realize how many jams that you guys got. You guys can't really you can't possibly get to all of that in a show. You guys got just jam after
can't.
After jam.
We would love to play every song that we have recorded. And thing about Cameo to me is that, of course, Larry played drums on a lot of that stuff, and Larry is a great drummer. He's unorthodox. He doesn't play the groove like everybody else, and that's what him and we sort of like mix. It was like.
Can I ask you something now that you brought up Larry Blackman, the drummer? I just want to make sure that I'm hearing this right. I was listening to Shake Your Pants one day with headphones on where I could hear what he was doing. Mm-hmm. It sounded like to me like he had two different hi-hat patterns happening in between the bar, between the one. Mm-hmm. Just like two different patterns, which is very, very hard to do. I haven't heard any other drummer in commercial music doing kind of some of the stuff. It's not conventional. Am I hearing that, or is that just me?
I think on that particular song, I think he did do an overdub hi-hat track.
That's what it, okay.
I think so. I mean, we're talking about years back, but Larry, he's a great funk drummer. I mean, he was like doing some different stuff on drums.
That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And when you got a guy playing like that, and that can change the whole complexity of the groove. It makes you think different. And so when we were cutting those songs, we had the basic form. That was going to be the intro, bop, bump, bump, or whatever it was. And you got 8 bars, and the form. But within that, the bass line is going to be la-da-da-da-da, but the drums are like boo-boo-boo-boo, and then you got to put both of those together and make it work. And that's what we did. We had fun. We was just having fun. We didn't care if the people didn't like it. We didn't care. We just cut music, but we knew it was hot. We knew. And
yo.